Hi, welcome to World of Braiding and Extensions. My name is Joy Fido, and we're back again with just another episode of the Hair Helpline that we've been doing. We'd like to say thank you so much for all the emails and all the phone calls we've been receiving, because like we always say to you, it is based on what we're getting from you that we come back with responses to your questions and your queries and your concerns. So today is going to be quite another interesting day, and the topic is about patronizing your own. That's what we like to call it, patronizing your own, which is your own race. Okay, so two major things happened that I like us to look at. First, we had a call thanking us for all the support we've been given, and in particular her discussion was about how we have been supporting the Black woman. In her particular unique situation, she's had children that are disabled, and she's been sitting at home and attending to the kids and not really being able to do anything for herself. So on looking at my videos, she was excited, like, okay, so you are encouraging women to start using the skills in their hand and do something with it. And she could not resist giving me a call and thanking me for really helping her to see things in a different light. Now we're gonna go into more details on that particular topic, but let me go to the next one. The next one was an email that was equally interesting. In our last episode, we called it Gain a Certification in Natural Hair Designing in order to be able to set up your own global natural hair business. And we're putting together a package which is going to address every issues. Like, we have people saying, I've done this one and I picked that DVD and I picked that DVD. What's the next one? What's the next one? So we decided to put it all together such that you have a lot of skills in your hand. And in addition, we added the business side where you don't just see skills in your hand, but you're able to run it to the next level, which is run a business. And not just a business, but a global business. So we put together all the information in a package. There's going to be nearly about 30 DVDs, which will cover everything. And we put that up, and then we started having emails. People want to know how much it is, which we've written in that description box. But the next interesting thing was, I would not get certified or licensed in the state where I come from. And so one of the questions was someone from Nebraska, and she is concerned that, yes, she's going to gain the skill from us, and she will definitely know what she's doing in the business, but her state is still very laid back about giving people like her skill license to operate on the high street, or we call it high street, but license to operate in, a professional setting. And that really touched us, because we're a bit concerned. See, what we tend to find, or what I have personally experienced in this industry, is the fact that there is a lot of racism in hair business. I have said that so many times, and I'm not going to shy away from saying it. From my research, from the things I've done in the industry, this is a deliberate attempt at holding back, and I'm going to be very blunt, holding back the Black people in the industry of hair. Because first of all, you're made to think that the Black hair is bad. I read a book that said this hair type is bad. And this book claimed to be Hair Bible. I've talked about this several times. So when you're made to think that what you have is bad, suddenly you start looking at other options. Now, no one bothered to teach you that this is how you can care for your own hair. And this is why people are being forced to go, I say forced, to go to cosmetology colleges and hairdressing schools. And I had to go to one just to see what it was that they were going to teach me. And yes, they don't teach the natural hair. They're not interested in the natural Afro hair. So when you are now being forced to take up something that you're not going to be dealing with, what would you call that? So as far as I'm concerned, the racism will be there. It is there in still so many states, especially in the US. And now you gain your skill, which is what we give you. We give you the skill to do it. And then you are being told that you cannot practice because you have not studied cosmetology. And the question I ask is, of what use is that to you? Because when I did my hairdressing, that's the same thing I said to my teachers. What use is your hairdressing course to me when I'm not going to practice it? What use is a course that the clients you're going to have are not going to ask for the skill that you have? I've talked about this. People go 2 years, 3 years, they come out and they don't have clients. So it is up to you now to start looking at how you can help yourself. And when I say these categorical statements, I have reasons why I say them. I read in this book, Let's Talk Hair, Pamela Farrell, and she experienced exactly what I'm talking about. When she went for her cosmetology course, they won't let her bring in a black client for model. Same thing I read in this hair story. It went into the history of how the black hair was made to feel inferior to other hair types. And I also read in Madam Walker's book about how when they started trying to set up businesses, the regular mainstream banks will not give them loan, which is still what is operating today. The last hairline discussion we had, Helpline discussion, we mentioned it as well. There's so much going on in the system that if you don't stand up to help yourself, no one's going to come to your aid. And this is this textbook on cosmetology, and I've been through every page, and there is nowhere there that they talk about the natural Afro hair and how to help you understand it. So that's what we stand here for, to help you understand your hair, because you can help your sister, you can help your mom, you can help your friends to understand their hair and work with it. I just came back from Nigeria, which I've said in the last helpline, and the same thing I explained to them. It is not about just taking up a skill for the sake of it. It's about taking a skill that you have people you're going to work with. And that's when you know you have a business. You cannot have a business if you don't have clients. And so, racism in your face, there's nothing you can do about it in the face of it. But there's so much you can do when you really sit back and think about it. When we moved into this location where we are presently, we experienced it. We moved from London, slightly about 50 minutes away from London, into Essex. And we are in a neighborhood of 95% white race and maybe a few other races. And the racism we experienced wasn't even from our neighbors. It was from the council itself. We were practically being we were nearly being forced to close our shop within 6 months of starting. And we stood up in the face of it. And we told the council we did what we needed to do. We stood up. That's all I want to say to you. You have to stand up for yourself. Now, in the light of us receiving that email, this person asking our help, yes, we've said call us so we can talk details and see how we can help. But I want you to learn to be strong for yourself, because I am not in your state and I don't know what is required. But if you have your skill and you know what you're doing, what you can start with is put all your images in an album and your certificate, because we are guaranteeing you a certificate with what you're going to learn, so you have proof of what you have done. Now, we had an email from someone in Florida, and he said in Florida they're not requiring you to take up a cosmetology course in order to offer natural hair. All they say to you is get a license. So that may be the case. So it's up to you to find out in details. You have to go there. If you have a burning desire to do something, if you have a passion for something, don't let anything stop you. This is where I come from. Do not let anyone or anything stop you. Because like I say to everyone, the human brain has no color. It's not red, it's not green, it's not blue, it's not white, and it's not black. It's just a brain. So you have to use your brain to help yourself. So what I'm saying is the laws in these states, some of these states, are not made for you. They're just there to cripple your progress and not to allow you move on. Now, when we talk about racism and we're talking about cosmetology schools, this is the reality of the situation. These people do not understand the natural black hair. Instead of them to turn around and say to you, I don't understand it, they hide under, I don't want to deal with it. And because they don't want to deal with it, they block it from their system and they pretend it's not there. Now, when I did some statistics and I found out it's about 48 million Black Americans in America. You want to block that away from reality like it doesn't exist? That's ridiculous. And seriously, that's down to you, because if you don't make them realize that it does exist, they're going to keep pretending that it doesn't exist. So if people like Martin Luther King could do what he did and got attention, why can you not do what you can do in this present day situation? They don't know how to handle the black hair, and that's why they're pretending it doesn't exist. So you need to stand up for yourself and say to them, my black hair exists and I want it in the cosmetology school. If you do not want to put it in there, I'm going to go get this knowledge from wherever I want to get it from, and I'm going to use it to operate my business. That's all there is to it. Because I remember when we started this business of training people in natural hairstyles, people thought we could not get certification for it. And I didn't understand why anyone was thinking that way. Why not? This is something I know, and I'm going to present the way I know it. It's down to you to say, okay, that's fine. I appreciate you know what you know. Here you go. Because we exist in a society that requires some paper certification to say, yes, you've done what you've done. And that's why we do have our certification, because we mastered what we were teaching, and all we went to do was ask for it. Can you get this certified? Because we know what we know. So it's down to you to do the same thing. Don't sit there and say, no one will approve of my skill, and so I'm going to sit back and cry and say no one approved of it. You're the one just sitting back and allowing people to walk over you. That's what it is. Don't give anyone that chance to walk over you. I mean, I'll let you into some hidden facts that I found out. The black hair industry, so far by most races, is seen as a mafia industry, because there's so much money in it. I have told you over and over, $4.2 trillion exchanging hands in an industry, and yet black women are sitting out there and crying that they can't find a job. I had a call today, and this lady is saying to me, could you tell me how good this industry is, or this business is? And my answer was, do you really want to know the industry first before you decide if you want to take a course in it? We have 7 billion people in the world. These people's hair need to be taken care of. That's the way you need to look at it. People's hair needs to be taken care of. Look at yourself for starters. Your hair gets taken care of. 3/4 of the time, I get people call me here and they say, they don't know how to deal with my hair. My hairdresser is really bad. My hairdresser did a bad job. My hair, it's always complaint. So when are you going to have a hairdresser that you're proud of, or a hairstylist that you're proud of? We're not even talking about the natural hair care. But thank God, lots of my family, everyone around me, because of the way I'm so passionate about this, and to empower you to have your own hair on your head, without you just pretending that you have hair when you don't have any, because you're stitching it onto something that doesn't exist. Now it's up to you to offer those skills of helping people with their natural hair so it stays on their head. Now that's a lot to offer, because I always work from statistics. Africa, 1 billion people. Now that's 1 billion heads to deal with. And then America, 48 million people, 48 million heads to deal with. So how hard is this mathematics for anyone to ask me, do you think there's business in hair? Now, the people who are sitting on this industry are not black people. That's why I know that there's racism in it. And I did some research. When you go to the beauty supply store or the hair shop like we have in the UK, how many other races do you see doing that business? How many? I want you to answer me. Email me and tell me. How many of these people are women? Because they are men, they are not black, but they are in charge of black hair industry. And when I did some research, if they see a black hair business trying to pop up, they come up with all kinds of games, prize war. They come up with things like, we had an experience here in the UK where the only black hair business that existed, a shop that could sell all kinds of hair products, and they were actually reported to the system, and it was really bad how it ended, because it's mafia. They know how much money they're making out of it. Now, do you still want to ask me how much money is in this industry? People go there and you walk into the shop and they're hanging around you like you're about to steal something from their shop. Why are they doing that? You could be the one running that shop. It's your industry. When are you going to stand up and own it? Okay, so the other topic we talked about, the other thing that was interesting that made us decide to talk to you today, was about a phone call we had, and the lady was really, really passionate, and I could hear from her voice how touched she was when she started watching our Helpline videos and all the other videos we have on YouTube. And she said, you have no idea how much you have helped me, and I thought I must call you and thank you, because you've changed everything that I was going through. Now I felt good about this, because yes, we do have emails, people thanking us, we do have phone calls, people calling us and thanking us, but this stood out in my face in the sense of I really helped her to think her life again. Disabled children couldn't go out. Now she's finally had someone telling her, you have skills in your hands, so use it. Now, my first mission going into this industry was to help black women. And funny thing my pastor used to say is, your experience, make your experience your ministry. And this is why I'm so passionate about helping black women, because my experience with poverty is what has really fired me up to help as many women as possible who are going through what I have been through. Reality is, you deal with life on a regular basis, and like people say, the ups and downs of life, and I have been up, but then when it came crashing down, it did really crash down. But being a godly person who believes in higher powers and everything, I think maybe it was for a good reason, so I could actually experience it, so I can relate to it and I can share it with other people. And this is another thing that lots of people say to me. They say, the fact that you are willingly, openly sharing your experience with us makes us feel even closer to you. I love to share my knowledge. I love to share my experience. I mean, I've been through unemployment. I've been through redundancy. I've been through losing a home that I put all my heart and soul into setting up, and you can imagine all the thrills and frills of setting up a home, with my kids running from room to room and feeling on top of the world. And suddenly it all went. And then we had to move into practically homeless. And thereafter move into a tiny little flat where no one had a room anymore. So you can imagine the psychological effect on my kids or on myself. And I've been through having to use my children's money to take up training so that I could create a better future. And that's why when I come across here and I tell you what I've been through, it's to let you know that whatever situation you are in at the moment, you can change it. It's always down to you. And I say to people, if anything has to change in your life, it's down to you, not to anyone else. Because here in the UK, something that makes me laugh is people think, because the system offers this buffer where you think, oh, I can go and benefit and I get paid £50 a week. And at least I have something to eat and feed my kids. Free school meals, free this, free that. But you know what they do to you? They block your brain. You can't think anymore. I have not been on any of such system because I know the effect on you as a person. You suddenly feel comfortable. And so you don't think you have any need to change your life. And when people call me here, they live in London 15 minutes away and they say, oh, you're too far away. I say to them, are you sure you really want to change your life? Because I get people travel from various parts of the world and they come here to make changes. I mean, my current student paid over £1,200 sterling. Not US dollars, pounds sterling, to get on a plane to get to UK to start a training that cost over $6,000. And she stayed in a hotel for over a month. And she has to feed herself and do all the necessary things because she wants to change her life. Now, you have been given the opportunity to buy a complete set of DVDs. And I got messages saying, oh, it's too expensive. Well, I don't want to go into that. Because it is only you that can change your life. And I've had issues where I remind people that the money you spend on the shoes, the clothes, the this, the that, that's not going to give you anything tomorrow, are the things you need to look at, not the skill that you're going to gain that will change things for you. Because when I started investing in educating myself and putting skills in my hand and offering as much of myself as possible to people, I did not think one day, I have never thought one day about getting a skill as being expensive. Because that's your tomorrow. That's the tomorrow you're trying to create and change. And if you cannot change today the things you're expecting to have tomorrow, then there is no hope. It's not a miracle. It's not going to happen. I say to people, the days when manna fell from heaven, as the Bible had it, are gone. So if you're hoping on the government to give you benefit, or food stamps as they call it in the US, and you think you have your life sorted, maybe your plans on earth here was just to be a being that passed through. Maybe you never had any hopes of being anything special. But if you're among the few who have heard what I've said and are listening and are ready to make that change, you're going to change things in your life. You're going to invest to make changes. Because I say to people, if you want to start a business, how much money do you need to buy products? Buy this, buy that, to set up a shop. And that's when people start thinking of changing their life. Entrepreneurship, that's what it's called. Because like I say again, as always, it's not you taking a pen, writing an application letter, and hoping that you get a job that's going to change your life. Until you put that skill in your hands. Because if you had time to read about the things I've done, until that skill became me, I could not tell anyone I have anything. And that's why I offer you the opportunity to put a skill in your hands first. And if after you've done that, you decide to add things onto it, you are welcome to do that. And I'm going to give you some more tips and hints of what to do to get you started, because that's one of the questions I keep hearing as well. How do I get started? I'll give you some tips and hints, but it's up to you to make that change. Stop looking at people and government. Government is in trouble all over the world. And some of the things I listen to, videos and documentaries I watch on TV, and they say to you, your government is really not going to stand by you when things are down. It is your, I remember listening to one of them. It says, it is not your country economy that counts. It is your personal economy that counts. So if the US government is owing how many $1 trillion, and you think, oh my goodness, my life is gone, you might have a skill that people around you want. For instance, hair. People want their hair done. People want their hair braided. People want their hair in waves. It is all about their self-image, their self-esteem. I had a client yesterday. My client had suffered from cancer and she had lost all her hair. And she just started regrowing the hair back. And then she had another second scare, and chemotherapy took away all the hair again. And now the hair has grown back slowly, and now she's getting married. And she said, you have no idea what you have done putting some hair on my head. I have forgotten how it felt like to have hair on my head. She said, a woman's beauty starts with the head. Yes, there are people who love the short hair, low cut, you name it, they're happy. But 3/4% of women across the world, look at all the celebrities. How many of them walk around with low cut? And that's where the population is looking at. Everyone's looking at them. If you go on Instagram, if you go on Facebook, anything to do with hair, people are excited. Hair, makeup, people just want image. That's what it is. They want, even if they're starving at home, if you watch Chris Rock's Good Hair movie, people would rather forget paying their mortgage. Their hair comes first. And this is why people are making billions and trillions out of hair. But you would rather sit at home and, like the call I had today, ask me, what do you think it's in the hair business? Why not ask yourself first, why do I want my hair done? Why does my hair mean so much to me? Start with yourself. So that's where I'm coming from. If you can look into your hands and gain that skill first, which is the technical knowledge, and so your job now is to help people who are losing hair, help people who are struggling with their hair care, help people who want to look glamorous with their hair, then you have something. So if your country is in debt or struggling with economic issues that you couldn't be bothered with, your own personal economy is fine because you have money coming into your account. And that's all you're interested in. You want to feed your children. You don't want to be like what I've been through, where my kids are hungry and I didn't have money to feed them. That is something you don't want to face. So you want to have your children go on school trips that you paid for. You want to have your children go to the shops and have gifts that they want. You want to celebrate your children's birthday. You want to take them on holidays. That's what running a business can give to you. That's what your own business can give to you. And if you're thinking you want to go work for someone to provide all of that for you, that's when your country's economy comes in, because it comes down to how many businesses are coping in this climate. How many of them? So you want to take it so closer to home as possible. Your community is where your concentration should start from. And so if everyone around you gets their hair done and they're paying $100, for instance, which I know, if you get 5 days of hair done at $100 a day, that's $500 in a week. You still have Saturday, you still have Sunday. So now it's down to you if you want to do the 7 days. That's $700 in a month. How much is that? But we're not talking $100, because I know just cornrows is more than $100 in some states. So see how easy you can have money in your account, that you can take care of your family. And this is what I want you to put into your thinking, your thought process. It's about me, it's about my family, it's about how I can move my life forward, not how much money I'm going to spend to gain a skill that's going to change my life. $1,300 is what pounds is what we're asking for, and you're going to have skills that will cover you for life. Now you don't need to come back to me for anything. But in addition to what we're offering in these special packages, I am going to be with you on Skype for the period you have our training. You're going to get certification. We will guide you on business. So trust me, this offer is not going to last long, because once the period we put in is gone, it will just be buy your package and that's it. And there will be no support in addition to it, because there's a lot that I have to do as a person as well. I know I want to help my people, but if you're not asking to be helped, I will not force help on you. And that was why the question was patronizing your own. What we do, if other races were offering you this, I know my people, you probably say, wow, what an exciting thing. From my experience here in the UK, people will happily hop to the hairdressing school that would teach them nothing and come out and have nothing to offer their clients, than gain the skill that's guaranteed to put something in their hands. Is your call. So here's my conclusion. I did promise you that I was going to give you hints and tips on things that will help you move to the next level, because that's usually one of the first questions we hear. How do I start? What do I do? How do I go about things? So first of all is for you to gain a skill. Now remember, I'm working from my experience, and this was the only way I could move to the next level. Because if you read about me, I got my degree. I've worked in so many places: banking, telecoms, legal. I've done all that. It did not stop unemployment to come my way. It did not stop redundancy to come my way. And when I realized that all I needed to start my life and take control of it was to gain a skill, I changed everything. So the skill is what will take you, hold you together till you decide what next to do. Got the skill. Now the skill gives you a technical background. And so what I say to everyone, which is one of the feedback we've been getting as well, is when you talk, you don't insist that people should come to you or go into hair. That's not what I'm insisting here. Because you may not have passion for hair. I'm not going to force you to do hair. I mean, interesting enough, my friend's daughter has no interest in hair, but she's into something and she's into beauty, which complements with hair. So I have never forced her to go into hair. That's what I want you to get from me. It's not about hair. I may be passionate about hair. I may offer the skills of hair, but I have so many other skills, which is going to be showing themselves as time goes on. But for now, yes, I teach hair because I know hair inside out, and I've loved working with hair, and hair is my passion. So that's where I want you to start from. Follow your passion. What is your passion? Is it food? Is it baking? Is it makeup? Is it fashion? Is it beauty? Is it skincare? Whatever it is that ticks your button. Whatever ticks your button, go for it. Gain a skill in that. Because once you gain that skill, that's your technical knowledge there. Now, when people call you and ask you, I like to have my wedding cake done, but I don't know what to go for. What color do you think? What's the best kind of cake? You will know how to advise such a client if cake baking was your thing. And if someone called you and said, oh, I like to have my wedding dress done, but I don't know, look at the kind of image I want to have. If fashion or wedding fashion was your thing, you will know what to say. That's what technical background gives you. And this is where I say to people that if we really wanted to get the hair industry back from all these other races that are thinking they got it, We will easily get it because we have the technical knowledge. And so you walk into the typical Korean shop, for instance, and you say, I want a hair extensions that I could band the tips. They don't know what you're talking about. Or I've actually been to a shop where a black lady walks in and puts on a wig, and she's asking the man, do you think this wig suits me? You're a woman, you probably say it better than obviously the way a man says it. You might say, oh yeah, the man might be using like your husband's eyes. But for an Asian man to see what a wig looks like on a black woman, I don't know what kind of parameters he's using to judge how beautiful it looks. So things like that make me laugh. Because if we go into hair and we start advising people, you see this product, which is what I do, and hence I have clients traveling all over the world to come get their hair done with me. These products will protect your hairline. This product is going to do this to you. This is what's going to help your hair grow. These are the things you need to know. This is how you need a style like this to look. This is the extension that works best on this hairstyle. You cannot have this hairstyle because your hair is like this. So those are technical knowledge, and that's why people commit to what they get from me. So if you had such knowledge, do you not see yourself as the expert? That will be you in control of your industry, and that's where I want you to be. So you need to gain that technical knowledge first, which is where the skill is. So gain the skill that comes with technical knowledge. Once you've got that, the next thing you want to do is look at different ways of reaching your market. So who is your market? And this is where I always suggest to you, start from your community, start from your friends, your family. When my clients come, my students train here, I say to them, offer your service sometimes completely discounted or offer it free to gain confidence. So once you've got that confidence, now you need models to show off what you know how to do. So if you have your models, you show those images to your clients. There's so many things the internet is offering us today. Internet exposure. And that's how we know you're going to have a global business. Because now I'm talking to you, how am I accessing you? It's from the internet. And so it's the same way you can access your clients. Facebook is an option. Instagram is an option. I mean, I sit there and I look at the kind of people that follow me and I follow on Instagram. And the amount of things they're doing, you could be throwing out your hair service there and showing the different models how they look. That's a way of reaching your market. And then your community, the local newspaper in your community, those are choices. And you could go to events and gatherings in your community, your local church event. Have a stand there and put your little hair thing there and say, I offer this. That's how you reach your market. So you got your skill, you got your market. What else do you need? If you wanted to really reach the world, you set up a website. And again, we're happy to support you on that because we've been through that experience several times. We started with one that was absolutely nothing, and we paid so much money for it because we were ignorant, and then we lost that website, and then we started another which we really committed and paid so much money again, and that's the one that's working. And since then we built so many other websites. So we have that technical knowledge of knowing what people are looking for when they come to your website. So we're happy to give you that if you wanted our advice. So you set up an e-commerce website. And I tell you an experience I tell my students all the time. There was a website when I started years back that I used to look at, and it had everything. It's based in the US and I'm here in the UK, and I used to be so excited, ordering everything I could order. And so one time I traveled, I thought, you know what, I know this website, they have so much, I want to go to their shop and I want to buy. I want to see what I could see and see what I can buy. And I got to this place, and the shop was so small, definitely not have anything as close to what I saw on the internet. And I said to the man, I want to go into your shopping hall. Why can I go there and get some things? He said, we don't have any shopping hall. Anything you want to buy, go on the internet, order it, and we'll deliver it to you. And that was when I became wise to the internet. You don't have to have a big haul to stock your stuff. No! How did Amazon start its business? How did eBay start its business? So that is the thing we have today, the opportunity we have today, that we all need to get on board if we want to move forward. Something I read said, if you stay behind, technology will be way ahead of you and you'll be left behind. And that's what's happening to so many businesses that are dying, because they don't know how to reach their market. And they think it's still the traditional way of taking flyers from door to door, or sit in a corner shop on the street and hope their clients will walk in. Your clients are on the internet. They're researching about you. They want to hear about you. They want to know if other people know about you. They want to know what you're capable of doing. And that's the opportunity you have today. The internet has made the world, they call it a global village. So that's a chance you have. So once you've decided on what you want to do, you got the technical knowledge, you go online, you're ready to reach your market. And then the final stage, which I find loads of businesses so far across the world are doing, is branding. So you create your own products. So if you were into food, you create some food and you put your name on it. If you were into hair, you create your hair extension, you put your name on it. Lots of my students have done that. You create your hair product and you put your name on it. That's branding. And that's your product. They call it productize. So you see the stages it goes. So there's no magic to how you can change your own life. It's down to you to organize your thoughts and work with people who are happy to guide you, which I am, because if I wasn't willing to share, I wouldn't be telling you all this. These are things I've had to find out for myself because I was curious. That's a word I want you to take with you. Be curious. Ask questions. I got people emailing me, could you tell me where da is? And I find the same thing in the US. I live in the UK, and people in the US are asking me, can you tell me where to find that? You live in the US. Why are you not curious enough to find out things for yourself? So I'm going to end it here today, and thank you so much for watching our videos. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for buying our DVDs. Thank you for contacting us and telling us things that are inspiring us to come back to you with things like this. Because yes, we have what we know as our knowledge, but if you don't bring it out of us, it will not come out. So to the phone calls, the emails, the contacts, the WhatsApp, the Instagram messages, we say thank you. As usual, follow us on all the media. Go on our Facebook and like us, because we put a lot of things there. World of Braiding and extensions. A lot of training going on every day. We put it on our Facebook. You see video clips, you see images of students in training, you see the things they're capable of doing. We want you to stay, be on board, follow it. Because you could learn a lot. I mean, I hear people telling me all the time, I'm learning a lot from just watching the videos. So it's down to you. So like us on Facebook, World of Braiding and Extensions. We also have the Facebook where we guide people on your hair, products to use, how to treat hair loss and hairline damage and things like that. That's World of Braiding. Then I have so many other Facebook pages. There's one we call Joy Fido International, and that's where we're going to be talking to you a lot more on personal development or motivational speaking, because that's another passion that I have. If I don't encourage you from inside, you're not going to see the outside. And what they say is whatever is inside is what's actually reflecting on the outside. So if you find yourself really down and out all the time, that's what's going on in your mind. So you need to snap out of that and move on. And that's what Joy Fido International is going to be doing, which we're creating videos as well that will help you look into your life and see what you can change. We started it, and we started the first episode. We actually call it a moment with joy, a candid moment with joy, because then I give you more information about things I've been through and how I've been able to pull myself through them. We're happy to share that with you. So If you go on Facebook and just go Joy Fido, you see so many things I'm doing there. Instagram, I call it Queen Braids, and someone actually wrote in one of the recent things I did and said, that's a lady on YouTube. Yeah, that's a lady on YouTube and Instagram called Queen Braids. We also have World of Braiding Instagram, so you can contact us there if you want to. We have Twitter, World of Braiding, and then Twitter, Queen Braids. And on LinkedIn, I get loads of people following us as well. But the most important one, which we are going to really revamp, which we haven't been doing, is on Ning. This is where we have all our students who have trained with us meeting and showing us their images and chatting with us, because we're happy to respond back to you. We also have the Skype, Joy Fido. So if you wanted to chat with me, all you have to do is email us and tell us the day you want to chat with me, and then we can take it from there. But of course, technology is moving on every day and new things are coming out, and we want to join everything that's happening, because like we said, the minute you hold back, society moves away from you. We're not holding back. We're more than happy to pull you with us. So thank you, and see you in the next video.